Good mo- Good morning, Panther fan.
So, guys,
Billy is still alive.
we were
However,
preparing a funny skit. Okay, the Alexander Barkov, Billy Lindsay skit, right? And I'm talking, and my fumble fingers drops. I was pointing out how really ugly Alexander Barkov. Well,
his head's
now he's got like no legs. His head. Dun,
I'm
dun,
dying.
dun, 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 dun. This was funny, guys. I wish we had it recording.
I know. Oh my God.
Well, that's the end of that.
That's why we're live a couple minutes early because it just happened. And as soon as it happened, I just said press live. Oh my God.
It would have been a funny conversation that they had.
They wouldn't have. Well, yeah. But if you would have.
Look at this. That not only is the hockey stick's in shape,
right?
No legs, no head.
No legs and no head.
The skates are on the.
Oh my God!
But seriously, guys, take a look at this.
What? Yeah, there you go.
That does not look like Sasha Barkov. I'm sorry.
No, that's not good.
So they better do a good job. So
anyway,
Mark, I'm sorry that I broke the bobblehead you gave me, but I am smoking the Padron Diplomatico that Mark gave. Mark is now at a new store, ABC Liquor on Boynton Beach Boulevard. Nikki, thank you very much. Appreciate this. This is one of my favorite cigars, and I don't get to smoke them too often.
And you've got a picture right here. I got it. I got it all professional.
Oh yeah, there we go. So that's Esoteric Tom.
Yeah.
Another one of my homies. That's Mark. And outside of Pantherland, wearing my my new Chuck E. Cheese retro is now 1-0.
Yeah, okay. Good stuff. So I don't even have I didn't even set the banners up or anything because I was in the middle of getting ready to do that when Stu decided to so we're just gonna go bannerless here today when Stu decided to decapitate Barkov.
I thought we'd have a little funny skit. It was going to be funny.
I think it turned out better than we would have done it.
It was going to be improvised. I mean, a little change of pace from the puppets, but that's funny. I mean,
oh my God.
Man, it just fell on the perfect spot to break it the perfect way. Broken 3 spots.
Unbelievable. Well, it broke. Yeah, and then you decapitated him. So, how was the game last night?
So, thank you to Adam for the ticket. Sat in 121 right on the aisle. Great view of Panther shoot twice. Had a great time. Minute 20 into the game.
Yeah.
We pull our usual. I mean, that's happened so many games that I go to that happens. And, I don't really worry about us getting blown out. It's just this minute 20. Yeah. Wow. But we came back. Chuck scored a great goal on a feed from Verhage. And I thought we played a full 60 minutes.
Yes.
I thought we played very well. We shut down Burns, which is, a major task to do. He's our Panther killer for Carolina. And Aho, those two guys.
Right. Yeah. Look, it was. Let's just get right to it. OEL for Zadorov, but they got to retain half the salary. I'm kidding. I'm just egging Stu on because I know he wants Zadorov bad, and everybody knows the news that came out last night. Completely different subject, but I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Yeah, we could talk about it a sec. I mean, it's not going to happen. It's pipe dreams. I mean, and they're not going to trade a guy they just got who's playing well.
Yeah, I know.
And I
was trying to just make it happen for you, man.
Well, as much as I'd like to see the guy come here, it just doesn't. The math doesn't work.
Yeah, no, the math. We got problems as it is.
But it would be nice to have, he's the closest thing to Gudis.
Right.
All right.
Right.
But for him to get to the point where, he scores a goal, he has a nice little hit, and he says, "I want out of here." I think that room is toxic right now.
Well, I mean, just go all the way back, right? I mean, you go all the way back to um Bennett wasn't doing well there, right? Okay. And then Gaudreau wants to leave and Kachuk wants to leave. And now Huberto gets there and he's turned into a vampire. And now Zadorov wants to leave. And the coach is different. The GM is I mean, it's something in the water in Calgary. What is the deal? What kind of culture, like you said, toxicity in the locker room that they have? Now, I did see guy from Flames Nation had a real quick video out, and what he said about Zadorov was basically he was always getting traded anyway because he's a UFA. So this is kind of he said this is kind of shitty in a way because now that Zadorov says I want to be traded, Calgary's likely to get less compensation.
Correct.
Yeah. So with that, other than that, I mean, 3 in a row. 3 in a row.
3 in a row. We've gotten, other than the first 2 games, we've played 13 games now.
Yeah.
We are 8-4-1. We are in second place.
Yeah, no, we're in second place, and we have a game in hand on everybody.
Yeah. And Maurice was kind of laid back about it, but I think he's more excited than he's showing.
Well, it's a long season, right? And by the way, hey, Chris is in the chat talking about the Canadian hockey market is rabid. I definitely agree there. Maurice is never going to get all that high, get all that low, right? To be honest, and I mean, I want our guys back, right? But like I said in a recap, other than a couple of games, it's like, how much better can the defense get? So it's like, we got to take 2 guys off the ice. You know what I mean? I know that Balinskis is probably one, but I don't know who the other one is. I don't know if you take Mahura, Kulikov.
Well, that's the guy. That's the guy that I would take off, but I don't.
Mahura?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate to do it
told
too,
you, there's
right?
just something that I'm just like, I'm not feeling comfortable with his play this year compared to the last couple of years.
Right.
I like this kid Balinskis.
Yeah.
I like that he's offensively minded and he's not sacrificing his defense. He seems to be making the right plays. Kulikov, after I called him out that first couple of games, he's settled in and settled back to being his dependable self.
Right, for the most part. He had the one issue last night, but
people were asking me last night, in fact, this guy Paul and Yvonne, who I saw at the end in the parking lot after the game, I got a ritual of running out to Mark's car, lighting up, and Mark gives me his keys, and by the time Mark straps along, it's like 15, 20 minutes. So this couple came up to me, and that was the question that this guy asked me.
Right.
What do we do when, Montour and Ekblad come back? And let's just go with Montour. Do you break up Larson and Forsling, who have been playing pretty good? I think, yes, you do.
Well,
in other words, do you put Montour back on the first pairing, his first time back?
Well, it all depends. And we talked about this actually at the end of the stream, because Maurice had kind of been making it sound like Ekblad was a week behind. But then in his comments yesterday, he said we're like in a 10-day window where we might get all 3 guys back. There's only a number of games left. So in that 10-day window. So the point I'm making is it's possible we might get Ekblad and Montour back on the same night, because he was talking about maybe just putting everybody being back for the second of the back-to-back games. Now, I brought up the possibility, and it was immediately turned down because they're both neither one of Ekblad or Montour ever played on their offside. But what I kind of thought was for the first game, leave the top two pairs alone, take Mahura Balinskis, take them off, and put Montour and Ekblad as some pair just for the first game to let them get playing and get their leg, make them a bottom pair, only get 8 minutes a night. But a couple of people were like, well, neither one of them ever played on their offside. But to me, that gives you an opportunity to only have one new pair instead of three immediate new pairs right in their first game. So,
well, the only thing is we don't see or we don't know what's going on unless we hear from like Jameson. We don't know what's going on in practice.
Right. Yeah. And well, we probably should start hearing.
I agree with you. Both of those guys, it would be good fanfare to have all three come back on the same game, including Bennett,
right?
Who, Adam told me yesterday was skating with a regular jersey in practice.
Yeah, I think
it would be fun to have all three of them back on the same night. But I do agree with you, ease them back in. But
right,
they won't.
No, they won't. Well, and I'm not talking anything more than one game. You know what I mean?
I don't think they're coming back not in game, ready shape.
No,
prepared to play 20 plus minutes.
Yeah. So, I mean, if they both come back and Maurice is just going to throw them right to whatever pairs we're going to go to, not what I want. What I think Maurice is going to do is Forsling Ekblad, because that's a pair that's already played. I think you're going to go Mikkola, Montour. I'm just telling you what I think he's going to do.
I'll switch.
What I think he's going to do is Forsling Ekblad, Mikkola, Montour, and then
Larson
Kulikov. That's what I think.
I just switch around Mikkola and Larson.
So you think he's going to go Larson?
I think it's going to be. I think you're right. I think it's going to be Forsling Ekblad, Larson, Montour, and Mikkola Kulikov.
Okay. I mean, that's.
Is he Russian, Mikkola? He's Finnish, right?
I honestly don't know.
I think he's a Finn.
Right. So,
but yeah, that's what I see.
By the way,
that's the way it should be. I mean, unfortunately, Mahura's got to be the odd man out. He's not. Listen, it's not that he's playing terrible.
Right.
He's just not playing as good as he used to.
Right. And look,
again, that's my observation. Anybody can give me a different opinion in the comments.
Who's also playing like he used to, or better. I mean, you let me know about this. Lucas Carlson with a hat trick in the AHL.
Yeah, I sent you that text.
Yeah, that's what Yeah. That's what I said.
Well, of course.
Right. I don't. I mean,
wait till we see he's been traded, because that's what's going to happen.
I mean,
they're not gonna keep letting the guy languish in the AHL. Some team is going to come to Zito and say, "What do you want for Carlson?"
Right. It's weird because he's been waived. I mean, he even got waived this year. So teams could have had him for free. So I don't know what it is with him, but it is what it is.
Well, let the season progress, and I'm throwing it out there right now. That might happen.
Right. Well, he might certainly be a piece of something if we have to, because I'm hearing they're talking about $7 million for Montour. So at that point, I mean, the only way you sign Sam Reinhart is somebody has to go.
Yeah, we can't go through this mental masturbation thing with the cap and the thing. We know,
right?
Because we could talk about it every video.
You were talking about
for half an hour. I'm telling you again, Montour and Forsling are both going to want $7 million. That's the number I have in my head for both those guys, based on comps and what they bring to the table.
Yeah.
If Montour gets 7, Forsling's got to get 7, vice versa.
Right.
And I still think they're going to sign. I still think they're going to sign it at the same time for the same amount. 8 years, $7 million, or 7 years, whatever.
I don't know.
And we're just going to have to figure out a way to work them in and work around them.
Right.
Yeah, somebody's going.
Right.
It sucks.
I know.
Because we got a really good, in spite of.
We have the Spencer Knight card. We do have the Spencer Knight card. If we played the Spencer Knight card, everybody else can stay.
Well, everybody can see what he's doing this year.
I know. So it's like,
we're showcasing him. Unfortunately, it's like, do you do today and worry about tomorrow? Because in a couple of years, when Bob is, gone, who's going to be our starter if we trade? I mean, we already fucking gave Devin Levy up, but I do it again and again to get Reinhardt.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, is there another goalie that we could, pluck out of obscurity to become the next starter?
I mean, I don't know. It seems like everybody we bring here turns to be pretty good. So I think we should probably get some guy off the street and turn him into a Vezina goalie.
I will say one thing about the Panthers scouts and whatnot. They haven't really been right on with forwards, but I will say that they have an eye for goalies. We've always picked good goalies.
Yeah. Yep. So now we've played all three. We played Boston, we played Toronto, and we played Carolina, and we went 2-0-1 without Bennett. And the one game we lost was the game we actually had Bennett for almost half the game. But the other two games, without three of our guys. And I mean, the only thing really to even complain about, because you got to complain about something, is the power play. You know what I mean? But as long as we're not giving up shorthanded goals. And by the way, you were at the game? Did you notice? Like we talked about it last night. I just realized it's like, remember last year, like every game was 2, 3, 4 stick infractions and everything. The penalties that we were getting,
high sticks and whatnot.
Yeah. You only see so much on TV, right? So, like, were you noticing that we were getting away with things yesterday and they just weren't calling it?
No,
I suddenly get disciplined.
I did notice one high stick on Ekman Larson that didn't get called.
Right.
There was a blatant high stick. I don't know. I didn't see anything.
Okay. All right. No,
I thought the refs missed a whole bunch of penalties. Especially in the beginning of the game, they just let everything go.
Right.
I mean, real on both sides, real obvious stuff.
Right.
But that's fine. Man, I'm just digging the energy in that place. Yeah. It wasn't sold out, but 90% full. I'd be curious to see what the attendance was last night.
Right.
Maybe 16, 17,000.
Yeah.
19 is, sell out. But
yeah, I mean, it's a big.
We were rocking. There's good energy in that place, and I know the players feed off that.
Yep.
But they're playing with a lot of confidence. Other than their alarm clock not going off. They need to set the alarm clock at at 19:59.
Right.
Where it goes off, and okay, start playing because.
Well, look. I'd rather have that than them come out like a bat out of hell for the first 8 minutes, right?
And not score.
And then, or even if we score, I mean, which the other game that we had the 3-0 lead, we had 3-0 lead 7 minutes in, and we had to come back and win in overtime, right? Yeah. So I'd rather them kind of
like the Boston game,
right?
That was a fantastic first period in Boston.
Yeah.
So,
but I tell you what, I ain't saying I told you so, not you, but I told you so. All Lundell needed to do was be with consistent line mates that were good for a couple of straight nights for him to start looking like his old self again.
I thought both him and Luosterainen they had great games last night.
Yep.
Cousins is making himself more of a presence. He's getting in people's faces a lot.
Yeah.
Bob, it just comes back to Bob. Not that he had any ridiculously out of this world saves last night.
Right.
He just is a steady rock back there, and
right.
the players know that, and they're just. But 4 goals, goal, Bob. You get Bob 4 goals, you usually win. It's an easy formula.
Yep. What do you think about? Because now we got to figure out. Because Maurice is listening. When do you put Stolars in? Because you got Chicago.
Yeah, so that's a tough one, only because it's a 1:00 game.
Right.
But there's a day off today. Based on what I saw last game, where he let 3 goals in.
Right.
You know what? I want to give him another shot.
So you play him Sunday?
Yeah.
You're going to play him Sunday, and then you're going to play one of those back-to-backs.
Okay, so we're not playing. When do we play in San Jose? Tuesday,
yeah. And then we've got the
long flight and whatnot. All right, so you play Bob tomorrow, and then you put Stolars in for San Jose.
And then what about the back-to-back?
You play Bob against LA and Stolars against Anaheim.
Right. Yeah, so either way, you're putting Stolars in 2 of the next.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Well, hopefully, why not? Right? Hopefully, why not? Because if he doesn't, if he shows up like he did last time, Spencer, you know what I'm saying?
Not yet.
Not yet.
No, not yet.
I don't know.
From what I see, he's doing pretty good down there.
He's doing good, no doubt. I just don't want to give away points because of that.
Yeah, I understand. But like I said, there's a day off today. So instead of maybe, day and a half, he's got a day and just a morning, a day and a few hours. So 1:00 game. Then he gets to rest Monday. They take that long flight. And then so it's the West Coast time. Not really jet lag for 3 hours, but you played San Jose, which is not playing really good, although I think they've won a couple of games since
they won a couple of games.
Went 0-11. But still, you got to save Bob for LA, because LA is right up on Vegas's heels as far as the powerhouse in the West.
Hey, your mic is picking up your TV pretty good.
All right, let me shut it off. LA's got a really good LA's got a really good team. Obviously, I got Brian. I'm really bummed because I'd be sitting on the glass for that game. But I'm just not going to make it this year. But yeah, LA, and then Anaheim. They got beat by and I'll bring it up. They got beat by the Flyers last night, and guess who had an amazing move right around the defenseman, looking like freaking Bobby Orr, your boy
Owen. Oh yeah.
It's just
I know. Hey, look, I'm happy for him.
Yeah, blossom.
I don't need a line of Lundell with Krause and Tippett. We don't need that, okay? Or we don't need to have Lundell. I mean, it's okay. It's all right. We don't need a 600-pound third line.
Yeah,
it's 60 goals. We're good. We're
good. The fact that we got Giroux as a rental.
I know,
and we gave up Tippett, for good. That's smart, but again, he didn't do anything. He had his opportunities. He's just one of those late bloomers.
I mean, I see now people have said that, and I kind of disagree.
All right.
And the reason why, God, he's still only 24 years old. Jesus. So
maybe we gave up on him too early, but who else was Philly going to take?
Oh no, well, maybe we tried to get him to take somebody else. I mean, the year with the Panthers.
Paul Schwint.
I mean, he had 6 goals and 8 assists in 42 games, right? And then so he bloomed all right. But I mean, if he's 24 now, 23, 22, I mean, he was still 21. No, wait, he was still 21 and 20 when he came up at 19 years old. So,
and he came up with much fanfare.
Right.
He was the sniper of that draft.
Right.
He was the best shooter in that draft.
Yeah.
Which I can't remember who else was with him in that draft, but he got 27 goals last year. I expect him to get 30 this year, and I expect him to do really well. And it's like one of those things,
Yeah.
It was, it was a roll of the dice.
Right.
We lost.
Yeah.
Good luck to him. I'm just saying, he's playing now the way he should have been playing with us.
Right.
With confidence.
Yeah.
And with purpose. When he played with us, he was like lost. And granted, he played with a lot of different line mates, but still, good players adapt and good players assimilate to whoever they're playing with.
Yeah. Hey, it's okay. I'm glad. I'm happy he's doing well.
Yeah.
But what it really makes me realize, and I've said this before, is like, we gave Talon a lot of shit, and he did miss some people. But there's multiple players that we were like, that guy sucks, that Talon drafted, and then they go elsewhere and they've done well. So the point being that Talon wasn't maybe as bad as we gave him shit for.
Well, you always mention the Krause thing, and that all came about because he made one of the worst signings in Panther history. Dave Bolin, 5 years, $5.5 million for a guy that had his 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah.
Deflecting a shot, to win the Stanley Cup. Big fucking deal. The guy was an average player. He wasn't a superstar.
Right.
So he had to make up for it. So, he had to throw Krause in just to get rid of the contract.
Right. It would be like giving Cousins $5.5 million because he had some big goals in the playoffs last year.
Worse than that.
Right.
The kid never even stepped on the ice for us.
Oh, I know.
He's not burning it up out in Arizona. He's an okay player. You don't hear too much about him. His name is not in the top 10. What's that?
Because he's in Arizona. He's 26. Video's gone off the rails now, but I don't care. That's fine. I mean, he had 20 goals 2 years ago, 24 goals last year, and he's got 5 already in 12 games this year. You just don't hear about him because he's in Arizona.
Correct.
If he was in Toronto with those numbers, they'd be talking about, oh, my God, Lawson Krause is this big, gritty, goal-scoring guy, but he's a Coyote, so nobody knows that the dude's scoring. He might be on pace for 30 goals this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. We know about that with the Panthers, right? And hey, look, I mean, that's how we got rid of Huberdeau, was the opposite way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of like they saw that 115 points and they all thought, holy crap. And we're all like, he's a 70-point guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But give Zito credit. At least now we're on the opposite end of those deals, right? Now we're the team for the most part. It was a lot to give up for Claude Giroux. It could have been either or, but damn it, you know what I mean? Both Tippett and a one. That still hurts my nuts a little bit.
Yeah,
I mean?
We definitely overpaid him.
Yeah,
and we overpaid for Sherratt, who really didn't do shit. I mean, Giroux contributed, but Sherratt did shit.
Yeah, but Zito was going for it. Hey, he learned his lesson.
Listen,
he learned.
If you want to compare all those years with Talon and just the short 3 years or so with Zito,
no,
hands down, night and day.
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine if Zito had been in charge for like the last 10 years and some of the players when we had first round draft picks?
Yeah.
Who we might have had gotten?
Right. Yeah. Well, the thing I like about
like that draft and the famous draft I always go back to with the Nathan Horton draft, where basically everybody's in there. Getzlaff, Perry, You just open up that draft and see the top 20 guys, and where we drafted, and all the guys below that we could have had.
Yeah, no,
mind-boggling. But hey, listen,
hey, we're in good shape now.
It's fun that we could talk like hypotheticals and what ifs and whatnot. We, in spite of what some of the pundits said before the season started, that it was kind of a fluke that they made it to the finals, blah blah blah. And you know what? I do think we might have a better team this year than last year. I think the fourth line is better for sure.
We're winning without having to beat the crap out of ourselves physically.
Yeah. And Mark Stahl, no Eric Stahl, those two old guys that were okay.
Yeah, no, look,
we've replaced them with a Stenlin and Lorentz.
Yeah.
Two bigger guys.
Right.
That the only thing, again, I was corrected because I keep watching Stenlin losing faceoffs, but somebody sent me the was it Jacob? I don't know. Somebody sent me this, the snapshot of his percentage is 54%.
Okay.
I don't see it, but I'd like to see him, be more dominant in the faceoff circle. But I'd like to see what Barkov's stat is this year. He seems to be winning a lot more of the faceoffs. Yeah. But Barkov looks a hell of a lot better than he did last year. It's noticeable.
Yeah.
And he dropped 15 pounds.
Right.
And according to whoever it was where I saw it, he's ripped. He's been, working out.
Good. No, everything. I mean, look, considering everybody that's been missing, I mean, even if we would have had all our guys and you told me we would start 8-4-1, I would have said, okay, all right. That was it. I mean, because that's better stretch than we had at any point last year, basically until February, So, I mean, I just hope.
Yeah. So that's the $1 million question now that we'll just get to the elephant in the room. What happens when these guys come back to the chemistry, to the balance, to the dynamic, whatever word you want to use?
For those people, to be clear, we're talking about the defense. We're not talking about Sam Bennett.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about the defense. What happens, when both of those guys come back and they have to make the hard decisions? All right, who's not playing? And how are those guys going to fit in with whoever they're playing with? That's why I don't think they want to. That's why they want to at least put Montour with somebody that he's comfortable with. Like I don't see Larson and Montour.
Right. No.
I see Forsling and Montour. But you're right, and I think it's got more to do with his ego than his ability. But I have a feeling you're right. I think it's going to be Forsling and Ekblad.
Right.
The alternate captain, one of the cornerstones of the franchise has to play first pair. Me, personally, if I'm coaching, it's Forsling and Montour and Larson and Ekblad. That's just me. Guys, comment. Tell me if you agree with me. Tell me if you don't agree with me and why.
Now, the other thing there with Ekblad, this is pointed out to me in the spoof video I did with Bill Zito. That wasn't really Bill Zito.
That was funny, by the way.
Thanks. I'm gonna turn that into a little bit of a.
I like that because you weren't wearing your hat, so
Well, because Zito's got the bald head.
Yeah, so I caught that.
It worked. After this season, Aaron Ekblad's no move clause goes to a modified no move clause. So he can submit 12 teams that he will not accept the trade to. But after that, Zito can do whatever the hell he wants. And that might be our other ticket to make sure everybody else stays and then Ekblad goes.
Yeah. So the way I'm seeing it is if we're able to crunch the numbers and do it, and lock Forsling and Montour up, Ekblad's not getting re-signed.
Right.
I just don't see it. Right. And the main reason is going to be, his age and his fragility.
Yeah.
I'm praying that there's no more injuries this year.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But
No,
I'm,
because then we won't
I'm
be able to
holding
trade
my
him.
breath every time he plays.
Right.
That's not good to hold your breath and worry about a certain player getting hurt. I kind of sort of do that with Barkov.
Well, you already decapitated Barkov today.
Yeah, that's funny. Oh, guys, that's funny. Anyway, now I don't have to put it up in my bedroom. It's ugly as shit.
Oh my god!
But I don't even understand why they did these mini ones. They should just do regular. The one of Kachuk coming out. Yeah. Anyway, so getting back to the defense, like, we'll have to see. We'll have to see in the first few games.
What I also wonder, and this you kind of touched on this, like, are they going to start practicing like half with the guys that are going to be on the ice and half with the guys that are going to be on the ice in a week? Like, are we going to see like what Maurice is thinking about the pairs in practice, even though, like, if he's thinking Forsling and Ekblad, are we going to see Forsling and Ekblad in practice, but then still have Forsling and OEL on the ice until Ekblad's ready to come back? You follow what I'm saying? So we might start to see what he's thinking this week in practice as those guys get out there. You gotta, I mean, he's got to pair him with somebody, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Ekblad's played with Forsling before, so they know each other. Montour's played with Forsling. And listen, anybody that plays with Forsling is going to be okay. It's the Larson that's the unknown factor because he's new to the team.
Right.
These guys have not played with him before.
Yeah.
That we know of. I'm assuming that they've taken shifts with the guy in practice.
Yeah, in practice. But I mean, look, they've done a really, really good job, and I mean, of coming into the year with 3 brand new pairs, and just making it work. Especially
and that's because Mikkola has just acclimated himself.
And
day one, he's looked solid.
When I look at it, what I don't want to do is break up Mikkola Kulikov, and just because that's a good bottom pair.
Again, if you have, let's just say Forsling and Ekblad, or Forsling and Montour, you got Larson and the other one,
right?
And you keep Mikkola and Kulikov
together
as the third.
Yeah, because at that point, if you put, well, look at it this way: if you put Forsling and Ekblad together, that's not really a new pair. Mikkola Kulikov's not a new pair. So at that point, it's just Montour with Larson is one new pair. And that might be the least bit of disruption. I don't know the lefty-righty thing with all of those guys.
Well, then the only lefty is Mikkola and Kulikov, and they've both been
they've been fine.
They've been playing okay this year.
Right.
So, all right, I want to point out one more thing, and I don't know if I'm sure other people notice this, and it's not the first time he's done it. I know at least 2 other times, and it happened right in front of me, so I was able to see it. So Chucky gives Belinkus an incredible, beautiful saucer pass that he buries.
Yeah.
Instead of going over and hugging the guy, Kachuk has the wherewithal, the presence of mind to go for the puck.
Get the puck.
Because it's his first NHL goal.
Yeah.
And he gives the kid the puck, and he was surprised when he handed it to him.
Yeah.
But I think he understood the significance.
Yeah.
But Kachuk is, to see that little extra IQ stuff that doesn't get written about.
Exactly.
They never mentioned it on the broadcast.
Right.
George would probably not put it in his article.
Right.
But I saw it, and I'm sure other people saw it. But those are the little things that make him a leader.
Yep.
So
absolutely.
Hats off, Chucky. That was a classy move.
Beautiful. So, all right, Panther fans.
One more thing.
Go ahead.
When I got home, obviously I'm all juiced up from the game. So I'm able to watch the post game. And then I went to the NHL Network to start seeing highlights, and they had bonus coverage of the Flyer Anaheim game.
Okay.
So, of course, I'm watching Gudis.
Right.
every time he's on the ice.
Yeah.
So they happen to say something. Yeah, Gudis just clocked that slap shot in at 101 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Now, you remember a couple of times, I think it was, well, I don't think, it was one Boston game where Gudis came in and right over the blue line,
yeah,
he let one go.
Yeah. I think that was the game. I think it was that crazy game 6.
Yeah. But, listen,
hey, look.
Gudis goes from us to Anaheim, which is like, talk about Jekyll and Hyde. I mean, it's a young team, so they're up and coming, but
what I'll say, Panther fans, is enjoy this, because we are now in that class of team that is not just good every year, but with the way that Zito's running things, we are starting to have an embarrassment of riches. Okay? Because, I mean, we're not going to have room for Mahura, Balinskis. We don't got room for Kirsten. We don't got room for Carlson. And, I mean, we don't have room for, Samoskevich, Sordev, who probably on another team would be up and adjusting to the NHL game a little bit. So we're just in good shape right now. Not just right now, but as long as we either have Spencer Knight or keep a goalie of that caliber in the system, we should be good to go for quite some time, because Barkov will be over 30 at some point, but you're still dealing with Kachuk, Luosterainen, Lundell. Bennett's not old. So,
yeah, the thing that blows me away is Chucky's what, 24 years old?
No, I don't
25?
25? Let me see.
Yeah, he's either 24 or 25.
Let me see. Maybe 26. 25.
Yeah.
I
think he just turned 25.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're relatively young.
Yeah.
The thing that I kind of peace of mind is that we're set up to be a contender year after year after year, and because of this cap thing, we're gonna lose a couple of guys.
Well, let's think about this. I mean, if they move on from Ekblad, that's going to keep us pretty much good to go with everybody else. The only contract after, if we fix, let's say we fix this problem this year by moving on from Ekblad, the only real issue we have coming up in the following year is Verhaeghe is due his contract before Bob's contract is up, but Bob's contract moves to a modified no move clause at the same time. You hate to start talking about trading Bubba.
Well, that's where we're headed.
But if Spencer Knight is ready, right, Verhaeghe or Bob's last year, that's a no-brainer for me. I love you, Bubba, but
I agree.
Bubba,
That's the solution. It's not the solution
we
today.
Right.
But at the end of the year, that's the solution. I don't see, at his age and given his history with injury, and given the fact that we have other guys that are as good or better, Montour and Forsling. Sorry, Eki. You're the odd man out. You're making too much money.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah. But that's the business side of things.
It is. And look, we know Zito will do it because where's Huberdeau? You know what I mean?
Right. And then as far as the Bob thing, that extra $10 million. When you look at it, it's $17.5 million. We can do a lot of stuff getting rid of those two guys.
Ekblad and Bob. Yeah. Right.
So if I'm Zito, I'm thinking that exactly what you said.
Yeah, that might be.
So at the end of this year, Ekblad's got one more year left, right?
Yeah, and that's the modified no move clause. So,
okay. So that would be the time.
Right.
God willing, he'll have, health the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And he'll put up a bunch of decent numbers.
Right.
And then you get the most you can get for him.
Yeah. Nope.
All right. And then the same thing with Bob.
Right.
It's incredible how Bob is come back. rejuvenated or whatever it is. I'm not complaining.
Right.
But if he can put up another year like he's playing like he did whatever, at the end of this year, you really need to just crunch all the numbers.
It would be 2 more years of Bob. It would be this season and next
season. Okay. But
yeah.
I said after year 5 of the 7, the plan was to slowly start backing Bob down and Spencer Knight up.
Well, that's why they got 4.5. Yeah.
That's why they signed him to the deal. They signed him. He's the heir apparent. The tricky part is getting Montour, Reinhart, and Forsling all done this year. And there's not enough money, unfortunately, this year. If it was happening next year.
No, no, they'd be signing, new contracts, but it's not going to account for the cap this season. It would count for next season. So you can sign Forsling, Montour, Reinhart for next year for anything that you want. But then when the offseason comes, you have to clear the space.
So that's when that's when you
move Ekblad.
Then that's 7, and then they got to move Ekblad at 7.5. Because that's, if you divide that, let's just say it's 3.75 each.
I mean, because if Forsling
then you could give those guys 7.
Yeah, Forsling and Montour are getting 7. Reinhardt's getting 9, bro. I mean, how can you look at him and tell him no?
Different species.
Yeah, but go look at the forward contracts. I don't see how you look at Sam Reinhart.
Yeah, Reinhardt's going to want 8.5, 9.
8.5, 9. I mean,
I don't think they're going to give it to him, but
I think they will. If you can move on from Ekblad, I think they do give it to him.
No, I use that Ekblad money for Forsling and Montour.
You don't need it. You need Ekblad's money for Reinhart.
Okay.
You got $19 million for Forsling, Montour, Reinhart, and Lundell. If you give Forsling and Montour 14, now you got $5 million left. If you move on from Ekblad, now you got $12.5 million for Reinhart and Lundell. You're done.
All right.
Good.
Well, there's the simple solution.
Right. I hate it.
And listen,
he would block us again if he could.
If we're thinking it, Zito's already thought it.
Well, Zito's watching the show for ideas. What are you talking about?
That's true. Listen, right. Bill, Jaws wasn't wrong the last time. He gave you a great deal. You listened. You took it. And now we got Chuck E. Cheese for a long time because I do not see that guy ever leaving Florida. When his 8-year deal is up, he'll be what, 32?
32.
33? Whatever, 31? He signed it when he was 24.
Right, but did it
he'll be 32
this year, or he'll be 32, 33, whatever it is.
Right. So you don't think he wants to stay in Florida?
Yeah, you'll give him another.
And by that time, he's already made 72 million.
Yeah,
I mean, how many more millions do you have to have, Chucky?
Yeah.
So
he ain't going nowhere.
Right. I mean, he's the future captain.
Yep. Yeah, pretty much. Right. So
all right, anyway, guys. Train keep a rolling. Yep. You definitely got to come back tomorrow. You know, Eric hates afternoon games.
Sunday 1:00 is made for football. This is
talk about being ready to play. We cannot let what happened on last week happen again. It's just incredible the schedulers that we're playing these guys twice this year, and we play them within like a week and a half of each other.
Yeah.
So we're playing at home. We got to just take that game and leave the homestand for the tough West Coast trip.
Yeah, because if you get that, you're 4 in a row. You get San Jose, that should be 5 in a row. Now you're cooking. You know what I mean? Now you're cooking with heat. So, all right, everybody. Appreciate all the support. Thank you all for coming out. Thank you all for coming out to the streams last night. We're getting like 50, 60, 70 people a night. It's concurrent. That's not unique visitors. It's really, really, really doing good for a hockey stream. That's really, I don't know what's going on, but I appreciate
So
it.
thanks to everybody. I wasn't on the stream, obviously, but thanks for the super chats. Thanks for all the support. Paul and Yvonne, man, I just gave you a shout out, man. Hit that subscribe button. You guys obviously hit the like button, hit the notification button if you want to be notified when these great videos come out. I mean, obviously, you missed the decapitation of mini bobblehead Barky.
Well, you saw it at the beginning of this.
It was going to be a funny skit. It's just Stu had to ruin it.
So what Stu did, we'll end it like what Stu did was he took up the bobblehead and he's got it in his hand. And what he wanted to do was have like a little skit between Barkoff and Billy, right? And so he's got the bobblehead in his hand. Let me see. I got this puck in my hand. Pretend it's the bobblehead. And he's like, and Billy, I don't know what I'm going to, oh, shit. Oh, no. And then he picked them up and it's in two pieces. And then I immediately pressed go live. And then he decapitated him on live YouTube right here for everybody. I'm going to make a short out of that, bro.
I drawn and quartered, man. I cut his legs off.
I know. You're
like,
his legs are here, and then his head just falls off.
It would have outdone the puppets.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Don't give me any ideas, man. Don't give me bobblehead voiceover ideas where they all just like stand. Don't give me ideas. I don't know if people would like that or not. So, all right. We'll see you guys later.